I've always had a very simple rule with my, let's say, girlfriends, partners, etc. that I've been with, even with my wife. And my rule is, if you don't bring any money to the table, then you don't get to talk to me about my money. So, does having a husband, wife, boyfriend or girlfriend affect your productivity in business? Very interesting question. I think it's a good question because it's probably the kind of question that most people are afraid to ask, and I'm sure most people are afraid to give an honest answer on. I don't think this just applies to business. For me, this is a fundamental question for success in life and for happiness in life in any area that you decide to explore. I guess the question was, does having a partner hamper your productivity? I'll answer it in a different way and say, I honestly believe having the right partner is absolutely fundamental to your maximum potential in any particular area. Before we get deep into it, I mean, you just think, how can you be at your best? How can you perform at your best? Whether it's as a business person, whether it's as a sportsman, an artist, anything. How can you do that when you've got a nagging wife or some annoying, jealous boyfriend or whatever it may be, blowing up your phone all day, hacking you, hampering what you're trying to get on with? So yeah, I think it's absolutely fundamental to have a great relationship. Listen, by great relationship, we've got to be realistic. I'm not saying we don't have problems. We all have problems in our relationships. She goes, just look at it, you're just so fucking fat. But I think if things aren't perfect 90% plus of the time, then you're going to find that all of the other areas in your life suffer dramatically. So my honest advice would be, if you can't have a great partner and a great relationship, then I really think you should have no relationship and you should be single. Because if you've got great aspirations in business, in sports, in life, and whatever it may be, you aren't going to get there by having someone pulling you back, holding you back. And this isn't aimed specifically at girls or specifically at boys. You know, we all know that in life with our partners, there's a multitude of issues that can be there. If your interests aren't aligned, if there's trust issues, whatever it may be that causes annoyances and problems, that we're all going to have a bad day in our relationship, but you need someone who is fully aligned with your goals, with your interests, with your passions, etc. Otherwise, neither of you are going to be happy and you're not going to get where you want to be. I think when it comes to business specifically as well, I also see a lot of problems where business owners have a partner, you know, whether it's a husband, whether it's a wife, who've not been a part of that business in any way, but they get the ability to cause problems for them. This particularly comes down to, let's say, signing financial documents, signing guarantees, etc. I mean, many times have I seen struggling business owners who need to put some money back into the business have the opportunity to get a loan, but to get that loan, they need to be able to, for example, put up the family house as security. And I have seen more times than not, the wife or the husband who isn't the business owner actually refuse to allow that person to sign the loan and to use the house as security, which then ultimately means that the business fails, the business falls down. I've always had a very simple rule with my, let's say, girlfriends, partners, etc. that I've been with, even with my wife when I was married to Harley's mom. And my rule is, if you don't bring any money to the table, then you don't get to talk to me about my money. I'm not saying that in a chauvinistic way, in a selfish way, or in a way of looking down on someone who's got less money than me, because ultimately we're together in a relationship. We are partners in that way. But ultimately, my businesses and my money have come from my risk taking, from my ideas, from my logics, etc., etc. And I always say to the partners that I'm with, look, you're joining me in my relationship. You get to enjoy the fruits of my labours. You get to enjoy and benefit from the things that I've done. And I'm not going to let you stick your oar in and, I guess, fuck things up in a way that I wouldn't be happy with. So don't tell me how to run my business. Don't tell me what I can and can't do. Don't tell me how I can and can't spend my money. And certainly don't tell me not to make decisions that I know are right for the business just because they may not be perfect for our personal life right now. Now look, I know that doesn't apply to everybody. If you have a husband or a wife or a boyfriend or a girlfriend who've been with you since day one and you've both started with nothing and now got big money, or you've both been together from day one because he or she has supported you from day one and you're now 20 years down the line and maybe you're the husband doing all the work and she's the wife who's looked after the kids and made the house perfect and made your personal lives fantastic. So without her, you wouldn't have had your business. That's a very different scenario, I think. I've grown my businesses on my own over the years, and there's been no single woman who's been with me from day one and suffered all of the bad stuff that I've had to suffer. Therefore, my view is quite simple. If you join me, I make the decisions. If that means I fuck up at times and that has an impact on us not having some money or not having enough money, well, look, that's tough shit. If you're only here for the money, I'm not really fucking interested in you anyway. So you've got to take the rough and the smooth, but that's what works for me. But look, went off on a bit of a tangent there, but I think all of these kind of stories and answers get back to the same thing, that yes, having the right partner is absolutely essential for business success. And if you can't have the right partner, then make sure you have no partner. Be single-minded and go and achieve your goals.